In the Nuggets Game 7, I know you guys talked a little bit about on your TV show. What's your biggest takeaway after the Nuggets got blown out in Game 7?
Well, I mean, ultimately, they put the Thunder just put all their resources, starting with Alex Caruso, on the Joker, and they started to guard him at the 3-point line. And then they have 7-footers behind to help. When he gets down there in the blocks, down there by the 10. He got 6 hands swatting at Joker. And they basically said, you don't have anybody else on your team that threatens us. And, man, that's frustrating, right? It's like when you don't fear Westbrook outside, when you don't fear MPJ outside, when you don't really, truly fear Jamal Murray. Like, it was 2 against 5. It was Christian Brown and Jokic against 5 starters. And, the 8 or 9 guys they bring in rotation. It was frustrating. It was a frustrating watch. I got an early flight because I was in Tampa, early flight home so I could sit on my couch and watch the game. And obviously it was just, from the second quarter on, it was just a debacle. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they had a good game plan. They played well. A little bit more bench, a little bit more from their bench, where they can actually trust those guys to go in there and play some real minutes. So, you give them credit. I mean, there's a reason why they're the best team in the NBA. We do realize that that's who they were in the regular season. So that's a really good basketball team. And you had a good chance. You started off fast, and, certainly the Aaron Gordon situation didn't help. But, I mean, it just exposed that game exposed all the flaws. No bench and no shooters around Jokic.
Guys, did this playoff run meet, exceed, or come short of what your expectations were for this team and their playoff run? Going into the playoffs.
So going into the
playoffs, what were your expectations? Did they exceed them, meet them, or come up short, Stoke?
No, it was short. I mean, at least, get to the finals. I mean, we got Jokic, we got Gordon, Murray, Porter Jr., Christian Brown. I mean, that was my expectations. I still felt good about this basketball team to be able to, make some type of run. I mean, so, yeah, well short of my expectations.
Stink?
I'm with you, short. And I would ask you guys this. Like, what you've got. The way your team is constructed. Anybody disappointed that Jokic only got up 9 shots? Like, at some point, don't you know as well, if you're Jokic, you're the best player in the world, and your guys that you're playing with can't make a shot? At some point, don't you just take over and you start ball hogging and try to hang 60 on the Thunder and try to – like, at some point, doesn't he have to do that if the rest of the guys aren't going to show up?
I don't think he could. I mean, he was having a hard time getting the ball against Caruso.
Yeah.
And I think you give them defensively a lot of credit for how they were defending him, to your point earlier, Mark. And, Mark, by the way, Evans thinks they overachieved this year. He's giving them participation trophies, Mark. Well, I knew it. See? I knew it. it. That's what he's doing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Give them a yellow ribbon.
Yeah. Are we going to hang a banner? Evans wants them to hang a banner.
I don't want to hang a banner. I do think so expectations going into the playoffs after an up and down, uneven regular season, all the tension that existed between Michael Malone and Calvin Booth, the tension that existed over this team, firing Michael Malone, unprecedented firing a championship coach like this late in the season. You turn it over to David Adelman with 3 games left in the regular season. You go on into the playoffs. You see Aaron Gordon is battling injuries. Michael Porter Jr. gets hurt and is virtually useless. We knew about the bench issues all season. They seem to get even more amplified once we got into the playoffs. And to be able to take out the Clippers in 7 and extend Oklahoma City to 7 games, I think they exceeded my expectations. Whatever your expectations were going into the playoffs, I had mine. And for them to get to Game 7 in the second round against Oklahoma City before finally tapping out, they exceeded my expectations.
That's weak, Mike. Come on, that's weak.
So with
this group, with Jokic?
With everything I just laid out, you still felt that this team should have beaten Oklahoma City and gone to, what, the NBA Finals?
Way further than this.
Way further. So way further. NBA Finals.
Sure.
Those were your expectations.
Yes.
Going into the playoffs.
I just told you that.
Okay.
I just told you that.
Okay.
I mean, you got Nikola. You got Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
You got Christian. You got Murray, you got Porter Jr. All part of the championship team. This is who they are. So, of course I did. I think some of the negatives that you pointed towards could be positives for when heading into the playoffs. No more drama, no more tension between the front office and the coaching staff. No more Michael Malone rage timeouts. You can finally all right, every possession isn't do or die here with Adelman. So there's more of a relaxed feeling there, I think, when those moves were made. And hopefully you get a little bit of a spark and you play better because of it. I don't think it's a big negative for them. So I just think, man, I mean, with this group, and all you do is you rave about Jokic and what a great season he had. He should be the MVP. But now it's okay for that just to be done in the second round? With that team, the amount of money they spent?
You were saying 1-2-3 Cancun after Game 3 of the Clipper series.
I know, but you said before. You asked me before the playoffs. But during the playoffs, I watched that team. I thought they were done. I thought they Cancuned it. I thought they had the bags packed, but they did prove me wrong because they had a lot of heart. But I just didn't see that early in that Clipper series.
Well, at the very least, can we say that this series, and especially that game on yesterday, on Sunday, was a catalytic event that makes you realize that it's not Michael Malone, it wasn't Booth, it's not just changing the coach. You have got to make some dramatic roster changes. You've got to do some dramatic work on this roster if the Nuggets are ever going to take advantage of having the world's best player in Nikola Jokic, because as currently constructed, they cannot win a championship.
Okay, and it sounds good and easy to say that, and you're not the only one to say it, Mark. There's a lot of that blow it up sentiment out there. But how do you do that? Easy to say it, but how do you do it? How do you do it when you've got 3 max contracts in MPJ and Jamal Murray? Jamal Murray's new 4-year, $208 million contract doesn't kick in until next year. Aaron Gordon's new 3-year contract doesn't kick in until the year after next. It's Michael Porter Jr. still has 2 years left on a deal that pays him $37 and $40 million the next 2 years. In a league in which the rules are very, very complicated, but what it basically comes down to is you have to make deals where salaries match up. For the amount of salary you're sending out has to come close to the amount of salary that's coming back in. How do you do it? Easy to say blow it up, but how do you do it?
That I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's
yeah.
the thing. It's
I get that. I mean, can you really? You can't go down the road with MPJ and even Murray, right? I mean, Stokes been saying it for weeks now. You gotta move 2 guys. You gotta move those 2 guys. I don't know how that works. I don't know all the, like you talked about, all the minutia that goes into the contracts and the second apron and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Figure it out. That's why they pay GMs and cap managers, and right? Isn't that how that works?
Yeah.
You got to do something.
Yeah, and I think, who are you going to go get? I mean, because who's going to want Michael Porter Jr.?
Right.
In that contract? Well, he's only got 2 years left on it. That's one positive. It's not like it's 4 years.
Okay.
Murray, I mean, can you really trade him before his new contract even kicks in? I mean, I don't even know how that works. But he's got
You can trade him. Yes, you can trade him.
He's got a big number there. Over $50 million a year. And so it's going to be hard for you to sell that and for a team to take that on. But so you might have to take somebody else's player that's making too much money and that's underachieving for them, but you project him to be a better fit for the Nuggets. That's what's going to have to happen here. So it's going to be an interesting offseason.
I would say, guys, that's why, for all those reasons that we just talked about here, whoever the general manager is, to me, is far more important than who the coach is. And we've had all this conversation about David Adelman. Did David Adelman do enough to show that he could be the guy? Should he be the guy? Do you go off and I don't care about that, because to me the biggest issue, the most crucial juncture that this crossroads that this franchise finds themselves in is how they are going to be built moving forward. Are you going to keep this core together and build around the core? better than you have the last 2 years? Are you going to dismantle this core? That has to be put in the hands of a really good general manager. And that's why that is the most important hire. And that's why I hope that the Cronkies, Josh and Stan, do the right thing, maybe give up a little bit of their influence, and certainly pay a general manager more than they have in the past, but go after Bob Myers, the guy that's been doing TV for ESPN and ABC. Mm-hmm. He was the architect of those Warriors teams. You bring him in here, you give him the power, you give him the money, and you say, go work your magic. I think that is the most important move that has to – that to me is job number one, move number one that needs to be made.
Yeah, I'll give you that, Mike. I'll give you 100% on that. Bob is, as you mentioned, did all that stuff with the Warriors, put that team, built that team that went to multiple championships. So what do they win? 4 championships under Bob, something like that. So I'm 100% with you. The other thing is to to not only hire a general manager, but you got to appoint that guy and give him authority and give him the power. And I think that's one of the organizational structure issues that that people like. If you're Bob Myers, you're gonna be like, hey man, if I don't get kind of what I need,
right,
if I don't get the authority that I need, there ain't no way I'm coming to work for you.
Yep, exactly.
And so you've got to be willing. If you're Josh Kroenke, you've got to be willing to acquiesce to that. And again, I don't know. I don't know how they're constructed. I don't know